Welcome back to Daily Insight. Now today we are going to talk about reaching out to the big names in the industry. And with that we have the co-founders of Exora, Michael Bernil and Matt Levin. So for our viewers who are tuning in, they want to know, what is Exora Technologies?
So first of all, thanks for having us.
Thank you for joining.
So Exora is a bidding platform for businesses to connect them with alternative electricity suppliers. So what we do is we try to place them or place their information in our platform, and different electricity supplier can bid into that particular contract so that they can find the least cost of electricity for their company.
Okay, so it gives an opportunity for consumers to save some money.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's what I want. Now, for the people who are watching, they notice, or for me, the first thing that I notice is you guys are younger than me, let's say. So if you don't mind, are you both still in school right now?
Actually, we are.
Yeah, okay, where are you attending?
So both me and Matt are from Ateneo de Manila University. So I'm currently 5th year.
Well, I'm 3rd year.
Yeah.
Okay, so a 5th year and a 3rd year in college, now starting with a business about electricity and things like that. Now, how did that start for the both of you?
So our company started last year. So the idea came from one of the camps that we attended. So there we know we learned about the ins and outs of the electricity industry, and then afterwards we realized how efficient it is to find new electricity supplier for a business, and thus we started Exora.
Okay, for me, I'm actually a late addition to the team, but what really got me going with the idea is that I have my heart set as a social entrepreneur. What I really want to do as a person in what I want to do with my life is address problems that I see. And one of the biggest problems that our country faces now is having the most expensive electricity in Asia.
Yes.
So when the opportunity came and I met with them, we jumped on the opportunity, and we later found ourselves founding a company.
Wow, very, very mature. So for you at this camp, you're discussing about solutions. That's not the kind of camps that I went to in college. And for you, Matt, you're thinking about problems with the world. For me, the problems that I had was in college. I'm definitely not thinking about electricity and things like that. So how do you manage doing the business and going to school at the same time?
I think for me, it's just really time management. I value my time. I look at it from an inverse perspective. I want to be somewhere when I'm 30, and I'm 21 now, so it's 9 years and I'm there. So
yes.
I'm running after that milestone that I've set for myself. And with that perspective, you kind of learn to invest your time properly. So
yes.
I just cut down on the social media, there's definitely sacrifices.
Yes.
There's definitely a trade. So I traded part of my social life for the greater good of this country.
Okay, how about for you? How do you do the balance?
For me, I'm still trying to figure out how to balance things out.
Please let me know, because I don't know.
So before, I had an experience in different extracurricular activities, but having a business is a whole different thing for me. And so most of the time, what I do is I try to set a particular time frame, so a block of time for academics, while on the other part, it's on the business, on my business. So trying to fit the schedule during the day, and it's pretty interesting trying to figure out how it works, but it's working really fine for us right now.
Okay, well, good for you. I definitely was not that so mature when I was younger. So there are some sacrifices, but you understand what is your end goal. You want to succeed in this business. Like for you, you have life plans. When you turn 30, for me, that's actually much closer. So if you are passionate about what you're doing, it's not so hard to give up those sacrifices, because you know that you want to succeed in this business. So we're going to continue with our interview with Exora. We're going to learn more about how it works. So stay tuned to Daily Insight. Welcome back to Daily Insight. Here we have the co-founders of Exora Technologies, and joining us is Attorney Robert Francis Cauilan. Before we continue our interview, we'd like to say hi to some of our viewers. To Cristel Janang Leonin, watching from Mandaluyong, so just down the street. To my parents watching from Las Vegas, hello. Thank you for supporting. To Tina Galindez, watching from China. Hello to all of you there. To Ruth, watching from Tarlac City, and Reynaldo Javier, watching from Australia. So today we are going to continue our discussion about Exora Technologies. So first of all, what does Exora mean?
Agora is actually Greek for Exora,
Okay.
And so what Agora means is actually market. So
okay.
a marketplace. So what we're actually trying to create in our platform really is we're trying to create a new market, a new electricity market, which is online. So that's basically how we came up with the name Exora.
Wow, you even know Greek. So mature. So with this business that you started, like what you mentioned before, you're always looking about trying to solve a problem with your business. So what are the problems that you're trying to solve using Exora?
So in Exora, what we're trying to solve is the inefficiency in the electricity market itself. The problem with the market is whenever, let's say, a new business wants to connect with their new electricity supplier, what they usually do is they contact them individually, and it takes a lot of time, around 3 to 6 months. So in Exora, what we do is everyone is there already. So the electricity suppliers are in our platform, the customers is in our platform, and the whole process will only take 2 weeks to complete. And that's a big plus for the company, where they won't have to worry about connecting with suppliers. All they just need to do is to register in our platform.
Okay, so where does the savings come in? How do they save money?
So
actually, as what Michael has mentioned, aside from basically connecting the supplier and the consumer, the consumer is actually able to pick which supplier he wants to supply power to him, so it's like a bidding platform where he gets to choose, but this time the consumer gets to choose which among the providers he wants to supply to him.
The power of choice. And I think that's the thing that we all prefer. If there are some services, at least you can see what they are, and not being forced to choose one just because it's the only one that's being offered. So with Exora Technologies, what is the vision that you have with this business?
So the vision of our business is really to establish competition amongst retail electricity suppliers.
Okay.
So not only are people price takers, but they can now choose. So now the electricity suppliers have to improve their service and compete with one another, which is something that's completely new in the Philippines. And giving our platform, this will actually empower the consumers to actively participate into the service.
Yes.
It actually also allows the market forces to dictate electricity prices, and of course, if you're selling on the high side, I don't think anyone would like to purchase from you.
Yeah, that's true.
Eventually, it tends to eke out all of the inefficiencies, which, as Michael has mentioned, what he really wants to achieve in the first place. Take these things out. When all of these things are out already, then what you have is bare costs.
Yes.
Which in the end benefits consumers.
Yes. And with that healthy competition, it improves the level of services that they provide, and I hope it prevents having so many blackouts and power outages here in the Philippines. Okay, so with Exora Technologies, what are some of the services that you offer?
So for Exora, aside from the bidding platform that we provide to the customers, we also process everything from the information that they provide to us. So we process the information so that the electricity suppliers will have a better chance to assess the current status of the customer itself. Then afterwards is on the side of the contract, we also create the contract itself so that the customer will have protection on the contracts that they will enter into with an electricity supplier. So that's the current services that we provide to the customer.
Okay. So how do I know as a consumer that the contract is in my favor and not really benefiting those electricity providers?
Actually, the electricity providers have to also benefit in some way
of course,
by providing. This is a market-driven economy. So, but then what the consumer can assure himself is that given the list of electricity or power providers, who wants to serve their needs, is able to pick out from among them.
Yes.
And one of the visions also of Michael is actually he gets to choose the kind of electricity provider. If it's a green provider or coal provider, then in the long run it allows the consumers to definitely discriminate against nature destroying or damaging
Yes.
power companies.
Yeah. If that is their priority, if they're more looking about good for the environment, or if they're looking more to see what's the most affordable, at least now it's the power of choice. And that is what Exora is offering them. So how do you see Exora changing the electricity industry?
For the electricity industry, when Exora solve the inefficiency in the current market, it will, of course, our first goal is to lower the electricity cost in the Philippines. As Matt mentioned earlier, the Philippines has the most expensive electricity cost in Asia, and thus a lot of businesses are having a hard time coping with the high cost of electricity. Second is, we want to promote renewable energy in the Philippines. The Philippines has been trying to establish itself as a haven for renewable energy, and thus, as Exora tries to open the market to solar providers or wind providers of electricity, we can make the market more clean as it is right now.
Yes.
In addition to that, we are also giving power to small power plants.
Okay.
So now the people who are smaller in the industry have a fighting chance, because the bidding is now, our platform also offers blind bidding. So you actually don't know which company is offering, except for the service that and the prices that they're willing to give you. So that's an added service to the Philippines, which might open doors for investment infusions into the industry. Now that the competition is leveled.
Yes.
So now it's no longer big people putting their foot forward and grabbing most of the market. Now even small investments into the industry might merit them good returns.
Yes, and that's what I love. Encouraging small businesses, entrepreneurship. At least they have this opportunity to enter the industry. Yeah, so very good. A lot of good stuff. So we're gonna continue now in the next part of Daily Insight about how they reach out to the big names in the industry. So stay tuned. Now, we were talking about how it works before, Attorney Robert. What's an easy way to explain it to some of our viewers who are still trying to understand?
Okay. The best analogy I can think of is actually like if you want to go from A to B, point A to B, no, and you have this platform on your mobile phone. You have these several transport apps, which I will not mention, no, and this time the platform allows you to log in, log into the platform, and the platform instantly displays the several transport apps willing to provide that service, A, B, C, and at the same time, those who displays how much you would be paying them if you are to avail of their services. So this time you get to choose now, and we can further refine that by saying that transport app A uses diesel, transport app B uses electric vehicle, size of their engine, so forth and so on. So that gives the commuter more power to choose, and eventually, depending on his preference, to save the environment or save electricity footprints, carbon footprints, then that's a way to go.
Yes. So with Exora, it puts all of that information on one platform. So let's say, for example, I'm the consumer, you are company A, B, and C. I can just go to Exora to see all of the services and the pricing that you provide. So it's the power of ease and convenience. Now, for this part, we're going to talk about how to reach out to the big names in the industry, especially for our aspiring entrepreneurs. They need some advice. So what's some tips that we can give them?
So one of the things that is important for when you try to reach out to the big name in the industry is to divide it into three parts.
Okay.
First is when you try to contact them. First is when you try to research for the person that you will contact.
Yes.
When you try to research for the person that you will contact, of course, you won't go to the person in the limelight because they simply don't have the time to talk to you. So you try to find people who are experienced, who has experience on the industry that you're trying to get into. Then second is the position that they're in right now. So if it's strategic enough to help you in your business. So that's the first tip that I'm going to give for
Okay.
those people who want to contact big names in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Second is when you try to email them. So when you try to contact them, so when you're crafting your email, of course you need to make a good email.
Yes.
Of course, whenever, let's say, you want to talk to this person, the first impression that they will get is the email that you provide to them.
Mm-hmm.
So first, find the commonality between you and the person itself.
Okay.
So let's say they're playing tennis, or they're from this university.
Mm-hmm.
Finding that commonality will give you a sense of camaraderie with that person.
Okay. So it's okay to put those things in a cold email, your first email to them.
Yeah, actually, that's a perfect way for the person to catch. That's a perfect way to catch that person's attention.
Connect.
Okay.
Connection,
Yes,
yeah.
yes. Building those connections.
Connection. But of course, when you contact those person, don't expect them to reply. And second is, don't expect, give them a way out whenever you email them. So
Okay.
let's say, for example, I created my email in a way that I'm not expecting any reply from them, and if I am expecting any answer from them, I'm not requiring them to, let's say, okay, we'll meet at this time, or I'll call you at this time.
Oh, okay. Why is that? Is that a turn off for them? It's like you're kind of imposing that
Yeah.
meeting. Ah, okay.
Yeah. So if you do it like that, the problem is you're simply trying to grab the time that they're having right now. So
Yes.
let's say I'm requiring you to reply at this time, but I'm the one trying to get your attention. So
Yeah,
in the
okay.
first place, you need to respect the time that they have.
Yes.
And to respect to respect the options that they're trying to give you.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Okay, so because they're in the big names in the industry, of course they're very busy. And if, for example, if I'm trying to contact Attorney Robert, I'm not going to say I'll wait for your reply later this afternoon, because I already know that they're so busy. Okay.
Yes.
So what is the third tip that you have for our viewers?
The third tip is, after, let's say, that person replied to you already, after 2 to 3 days, you try to send an email to thank them for the advice that they give you.
Oh, okay.
So that they will appreciate, okay, this person appreciates the tip that I gave him. So they'll have a sense of, okay, whenever I give another tip to this person, or this person tries to reach me out again, I'm expecting that this person appreciates the help that I'm giving him. So that's one tip that I can give. Then after talking to this person, don't reply just to reach out, or just to be in touch with that person, because let's say, for example, you're not adding anything to the conversation, you're just saying hi or good morning. That's gonna be difficult for that person, because that person, a big person in the industry, is very busy, and thus you need to be direct in what you want with that person, and most of the time they will appreciate you being direct to them.
Yes, they don't want to feel like it's another cold email that the 50 that you sent to all the different companies. They want to feel that you value their opinion and their feedback. I do have a question for Matt. When you first contacted Attorney Robert for the very first time, how did you reach out to him?
He was actually introduced also by a common friend.
Okay.
And then I was starting back then my first company.
Yes.
This is no longer my first one. And then stories were told.
Yes.
Conversations led to one another, and then we found similar passions, similar directions, and then he.
Like what you mentioned, it's that camaraderie. It wasn't. He said, "This is my business proposal." So how did it start when you built that camaraderie?
He was direct. So
okay.
That's one thing everyone appreciates. Don't waste other people's time. But
yes.
He reached out for me. He wanted to know what I could do to help him. Initially, that's the best connection you can have. Then everything just follows through conversations, commonalities. It's a case of the other way around, that you first find commonalities, then you try to connect. But then this time, because there's already a specific need and legal to be exact, then I readily provided that, and just the conversation just flowed from there. And then one thing led to another. Then eventually we found out we share common vision. So
Yes, and I think that's what you were mentioning. You gotta look for people who share the same passions as you, who has the same vision about the things that you want to achieve.
Yes.
And just as you're mentioning to all the tips of all of our entrepreneurs, that's how they can succeed in reaching out to the big names in the industry. Now, for the people who are viewing, if they want to know more about Exora Technologies, how can they find out?
Actually, Exora has its own website now, so
Okay.
they can access our services through www.exora.ph. We also have our Facebook page, so Exora PH. So if they want to know more about our service, they can like our page. And we also have our email, so they can reach us through support@exora.ph.
Okay, so what about your plans? When do you plan on launching Exora?
So currently, we are finalizing the final list of the tiniest of details. We will be prepared to launch the entire platform around early of the month of March this year.
Oh wow, so just in a couple months. I'm looking forward to saving some money on my electric bill. Well, we thank you so much for letting us know your insights, especially to our viewers who are looking for those kinds of tips to reach out to big names in the industry. We really learned a lot. And I can't wait to see how much savings that I get from this platform. So we'd also like to invite you to our Arena Weekend Market. Join us every Saturday in Fun for Fitness and join the whole family. So also enjoy our newest attraction, The Garden, with our Embrace Cafe. So these are mornings filled with meaningful business talk. I'm Randy Bernardino, and this is Daily Insight.